Hello world of YouTube, and welcome to another episode of Readcted, the show where I normally take a look at records that have a solid foundation, but a spotty execution, and making a smoother listening experience out of it all. However, this month it's going to be a little different, because to keep a bit that I'm wanting to revisit throughout my 30s, in the vein of keeping it a little funky, I'm going to be taking a look at two EPs this month by a funk band that I would argue is one of the most consistent, talented batch of artists in their lane. I think that they drop bangers after bangers. They've never really missed as far as albums are considered. And one of these EPs is really special to me because it was my introduction to the band thanks to a collaboration on said EP. And at the time, I didn't know that there were two EPs they dropped that year, but it gives me the opportunity to bring them together into a tight, more fleshed out album style experience. I'm talking about the EPs Believe in Your Dreams and Tonight by the Canadian synth funk gods TWRP, TWRP Remix Party, that I'm pulling together into an album called Believe in Your Dreams, parentheses, Tonight. Now, like I said up at the top, Tonight was my introduction to the band thanks to the hit. And while I didn't talk about the band, mostly because I was taking a break from the internet at large, until Together Through Time, I still became like a huge fan of the band. I think all of their EPs between Tonight and Together Through Time are incredible. They've never really missed, but during that deep dive, I learned that they also dropped a different EP the same year as Tonight, Believe in Your Dreams. And that's, again, what kind of inspired this episode. My whole goal with it was to take some of the spacious ideas with the bops of Tonight and bring it together with the more straightforward, still funky and well-crafted songwriting from Believe in Your Dreams into a more full-fleshed album-style experience, a la what they brought in Together Through Time, but kept the same tightness given it's just two EPs. You know, in my opinion, TWRP are still probably at their best when they're just keeping it tight while showing their talents off in full display, in my opinion. So my goal was to just replicate that. Bring them together, make the track listing feel really nice and smooth. And my version of Believe in Your Dreams Tonight is 8 tracks and 38 minutes long. So let's go ahead, show off the track listing, and tell you why I laid it out how I did. Now, if you look at the track listing of both EPs, you'll notice my version, my album of the two, is sort of a hodgepodge of the pacing of both, but it still opens with how Believe in Your Dreams starts, which is how why I kept that as the first part of the full title. You know, I think that Time Crystal is not only similarly to another track, sort of this just spacious, themed title instrumental cut, I think that it's a really good intro to this experience by showcasing the band's instrumental talent. You know, it has that drum fill into the organs in the intro. It has this build up throughout that before settling into a really good groove. You know, I think that the various crescendos keep the listener hooked before pivoting into one of a handful of really good collaborations. One of them being one of the ones with NSP, similarly to on Believe in Your Dreams. But instead of having it go into Baby New York City, I instead take that song completely off in lieu of keeping the hit in this album. And I wanted to have one collab per artist. That's the way to say that. So I scrapped Baby New York City because the hit's just a better song in my opinion. I think that it's just a better bombastic bop with a really good hook. That's just a really nice love song. One of many great love songs that the two groups have written together, but I think that this was a better illustrating of how well these two bands can work together and what it was one of the beginnings of what has been a long-standing professional relationship between both bands. And I wanted to keep the twerp-heavy vibes abound by pivoting into Pale Blue Dot, which actually happens on Believing Your Dreams proper from Baby New York City. It pivots into Pale Blue Dot, which is just a really good, well-written song about planet Earth, something TWRP writes about a lot. But I think it's important. You know, it shows that they do love the planet, and I think it's a good message to kind of advocate for, and I think that it's a good song, in my opinion. It's a well-written, catchy-ass, groovy-ass, funky-ass song with a really good bass work by Commander Meowch before going into an even groovier cut that also is the next point on Believe in Your Dreams, Crushin' on You, another love song that is a collaboration with White Hot Guilt that is just a really fun, funky song about people falling in love at a TWRP show, which I think is a beautiful fucking sentiment. And again, feels like TWRP energy on 10. And I wanted to keep that love song energy abound, but in a different realm with ICQ after that. Another collaboration with Skratch Bastid from tonight that I really enjoy his contributions of. I think that the turntable stuff really works well with their brand of synth funk, especially on that song, but I think that it's a fun sort of tongue-in-cheek, not necessarily direct reference to their tonight Believe in Your Dreams work with the internet computer stuff, with ICQ being a reference to the chat room service from back in the day. And it's another kind of fun tongue-in-cheek style love song that's also a fun tech tribute. And from there, we kind of throw the album into just solo TWRP territory with one more twerp-ass, twerp bop and Believe in Your Dreams, which is just a motivational song to get you amped up and keep the energy fucking positive, my guy. Believing in your dreams and achieving maximum results is the whole energy of the song, and I think it's, again, very bona fide twerp. Before closing out the album with how tonight closed, with two really well done cuts in Prismatic Core and Japanquest. Prismatic Core being another slower burn, build-up, synth-heavy track that I think helps get the listener ready for one last flashy, groovy, fast-paced song in Japanquest. I think they're a good closeout to tonight, similarly to pockets of albums like Return to Wherever, just show TWRP aren't just bop writers. They are very talented, funky-ass dudes. And I think that while Believe in Your Dreams is a good send-off to the bop side of TWRP songwriting, Prismatic Core and Japanquest do a good job at just having this unified, great build-up into this explosive, flashy finale. I really love the leads on Japanquest. I think that lead synth line is just addictive as hell. Phobos and Meowch keeping it fucking flashy. You know, I love the pocket that's on there as well. I think that they're two really good songs. If we're bringing these two EPs together, the way that they closed it on tonight is a really good way to send it off if we're calling it like an album experience. And while this is a shorter episode of Readcted, that is my Readcted, or bringing together, of Believe in Your Dreams and Tonight. I love this band. I love TWRP. I loved Tonight when it came out. Still love it now. I know they're working on new stuff now. I think their new single is also really good. Go see TWRP live if you get the chance. I hear they're incredible. Shake's seen them every single time they come to Philly because they're just that damn good of a band. Do you like TWRP? Do you like keeping it funky? Let me know your thoughts on this coming together in the comments down below. If you'd like to listen to it, I've got a Spotify and YouTube playlist link down there as well. If you did like this, give it a like. If you want to see more, consider subscribing. I drop 2 to 4 vids a week depending on what I've got going on. I'm going to go. Thank you again so very much for watching. I will have a special dropping on Saturday for my birthday. You guys have good days, lives, and situations, and I'll see you later.